Okay, we're live. It is Monday, September 27th, 2021. Add to stream. Okay, well, I was live and then I got kicked out and now I'm back. So here we go. Today, we're going to talk about joint space narrowing and subchondral sclerosis consistent with tricompartmental osteoarthritis. Boy, isn't that a mouthful. Yes, this is a question that came in from Scoot. Scoot says, Bill, here's what the doc summed up after the Xrays: bilateral standing AP, bilateral standing PA Rosenberg, bilateral sunrise, and left knee lateral image demonstrates joint space narrowing, marginal osteophytes, and subchondral sclerosis consistent with tricompartmental osteoarthritis of the left knee with mild varus collapse. Regarding the sharp pain, he said it could have been a flap of meniscus that got caught. Okay, well, that's what the docs are saying. Good job, Scoot, for doing your due diligence and making sure you got your knee checked out to find out what you're dealing with. Based on what the diagnosis is, you have arthritis, which is diagnosed as dehydrated joint. And when a joint is dehydrated, that means we need to start getting lubrication in the joint in order to reduce the pain and discomfort and tension. And in order to understand how we lubricate the joint, we got to take a couple steps back to understand the bigger picture of what's going on in a knee joint when it starts developing arthritis, osteoarthritis, any type of arthritis. Once again, diagnosis of arthritis is dehydrated joint. So the joint is drying out. So there's a couple of things we need to go over in order to understand how we need to set up the conditions so the joint can begin to rehydrate itself. First is an easy one. First is we need to drink more water and or stop drinking what is dehydrating the body, like sodas and coffee and things like that. Those function to dehydrate the body. Water functions to rehydrate the body, which the body needs. We're supposed to be about 80% water. So we got that element. But just because we drink water doesn't mean the body is able to absorb the water. This is a good point, because when we are in pain, when we're stressed, which life nowadays tends to be pretty stressful, we burn more minerals. And when we burn minerals, we use up minerals. The body needs those minerals in order to absorb the water that you're drinking. So, first step, we got to drink more water. Second step, we have to make sure we have the balance of minerals so the body can absorb the water that you are drinking. Otherwise, when you drink the water, then you're running to the bathroom 5 minutes later and you're like, I don't feel like drinking water because I don't want to have to run to the bathroom. Or you'll feel like you don't have a taste for water. That happens to me in the summer. If I work in the morning, sweat a lot, by the afternoon, it's like, I don't feel like drinking any more water. It's because the body has sweat out a lot of the minerals and the sodium and things like that it needs in order to absorb the water that you're drinking. So in the afternoon, I'll have a glass of what I refer to as original Gatorade, or what is known as the original Gatorade. And I will put a link in the description box, or in the description of the video below, that you can check that out on the Knee Pain Guru website. Now, that original Gatorade will allow your body to begin to absorb the water that you're drinking. But we're still not to the knee yet, because in order for the body to get the water that you're now drinking, that you're now able to absorb, because your including the right balance of minerals, it can't get it in the joint because the joint is tensed up. It's painful. It's tight. It's achy. It's considered an arthritic joint. So what ends up happening is that tension, because of the pain, doesn't allow the water that you're drinking, that your body is able to absorb, to get into the joint. If this is making sense, give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for future videos. So now we're drinking water, our body's absorbing the water. We have to begin to change the neurological signaling in the knee to tell the knee to relax and let go of the tension that it's holding onto. So now the water that you are drinking and are now your body's able to absorb can get in the joint and lubricate the joint. So too many people are kind of jumping around in that process. They're drinking water or they're trying to exercise, which doesn't change the neurological signaling in the joint. And it just sets up the conditions where you're on the hamster wheel. You still have pain in your knee. No matter what you're doing isn't working. And when you go to the conventional medical model, they're looking at sticking a needle in the joint that's already too tight to try to lubricate the joint to get it to heal and feel better. So we're not even in the same ballpark in terms of conversation to understand how to get the results you're looking for. So those 3 steps over again. First is increase your water intake. 2 is begin to incorporate the original Gatorade into your diet. And 3 is change the neurological signaling in the knee to relax the joint, get the joint comfortable, and allow your body to begin to be able to heal what's going on in the joint. Make sense? Give it a thumbs up. Make sense? Like and subscribe to the channel. Make sense? Share this video with your friends, family, and loved ones, especially those that limp. Okay. If you have questions and would like to type those in the comments section, that would be wonderful. I have a few more things that people have typed in over the past several days. I'll try to go through some of those right now. Let's see. This was an email that was sent in to me directly from a Daryl. It says level of pain changes with different kinds of work boots. And that will, depending on the heel height or the wear pattern in the shoes, your knee pain can change. The key is to change the neurological signaling in the knee sufficient enough that it doesn't matter what work boots you wear, you have enough space that you're not going to have issues. We have a question here from David Crooks. Says, Pat here again. So glad these videos are available 24/7. Thanks for all your help. You are appreciated. Well, thank you, David. Okay, David also says, your program works. I have made amazing progress. Thank you, Pat. You're welcome. Got another question here from DS. Well, that was basically just a teaser, very unhelpful. This was draining a Baker cyst naturally without needles or surgery. And DS, it's very important to understand that these videos that I create here on YouTube aren't designed to relieve your pain. These videos are designed to open up your mind of different possibilities. And that's very important because unless your mind is in a space that I'm able to help you, nothing that I'm going to give you, the direction that I'm going to point you to get you relief is going to make sense. Your brain, your mind has to be in a place for me to be able to help you. So these aren't teasers. These are actual things that you have to be in the mental space, have the mental capacity to understand what I'm talking about. Now, that may sound a little harsh, but it's true. And I've spent the past 2 decades of my life perfecting this art. And without that mental space, to be in the correct mental space, it isn't fair to you. It's not fair to the people that are in my programs, and it's not fair to me. I just won't be able to help you. It's just not fair. And there's plenty of things in life that aren't fair. So I'm doing this to manage expectations for many people. Let's see. We got a, let's see, there's Scoot. Okay. And let's see. Ed writes, every time I have to get my teeth clean, they give the antibiotics because of the knee replacement. They say it's intrusive. And this is something I just learned last week, and I don't quite understand. There's some sort of interaction. This is something for people who are considering knee replacements or have had knee replacements to look into. If you have more information on it, please enter it in the comments below, because I'd be very interested in learning more about it. There's been 2 people that have written in over the past couple weeks that they have to be careful of knee replacements after having had a knee replacement when they go to the dentist, because there's something about them receiving antibiotics, going to the dentist, that there's a connection between the knee replacement and the antibiotics. I don't totally understand it. So, yes. If someone could explain it, that'd be great in the comments section. Be it a dentist, be it someone who has had a knee replacement and understands that a little better. That would be helpful. Anyways, so that's what I got. If you would like more information, you can head on over to the kneepainguru.com website. You could jump on the newsletter list there. I'll send you more information about changing your mindset about getting over knee pain. That could be helpful for you. I also have a link, and this is all down below in the description box, around the this is a consultation link if you'd like to set up a time to talk and go over what's going on with your knee, developing a strategy for you to get out of pain. And then there's a link to my group coaching program, Knee Club, which is a group coaching program, private Facebook group, access to the members area of my website, give you all the coaching to customize a path for you out of pain. So we got a comment over here. I want less inflammation. Secret Owl writes, well, then you're going to have to do things that reduce the inflammation in your body. And you can look at that, both what's going on in the knee as well as what's going on systemically in your body. That is, and that's the key. And a lot of times you address the systemic inflammation, that will allow the knee to heal much faster. Okay, Wendy writes, thanks, Bill. You're welcome, Wendy. We got a great interview we did with the nonprofit that I'm involved with earlier today with Wendy. So we're going to be, that's going to be posted on the Camella Foundation website. Okay, let's see. Secret Owl says, how common is it for people's pain in the knee before it rains? Well, you're talking about a physical reaction to temperature change. Usually when it rains, there's a barometric or temperature change, and the body's response to the temperature change, or maybe there's an emotional connection with a storm. And I'm going to throw this out there, that they had something happen when they were little, or something similar happened and they ended up in a tornado or a hurricane with that temperature change, as a result of the before it rains, that can have an emotional connection with the pain. It's actually something I spoke with Wendy about earlier today, and how there is an emotional component to physical pain that many times is overlooked. So I will include the link to the Camella Foundation website that you can get on that newsletter list to become aware of that interview that I did with Wendy earlier today. Okay, I was joking. You said more information. It sounded like inflammation. Yeah, this was your original message. I want less inflammation. Got it. Okay, I misinterpreted something. You said more information, and it sounded like inflammation. Yes, we want more information and less inflammation on a baseline. So that's good. So that happens. Like, the computer world is absolutely hilarious. And what's even crazier is people that want more information in a computer world when they're typing, and they're frustrated because their knee hurts. You should see some of the crazy things. Well, it was an email I got. It was the knee. The woman wrote in one time, and she had knee pooping, and she meant popping, of course, but she was kept writing pooping over and over again in the email, which was pretty funny, that her knee pooped while she was at dinner. Anyways, okay, I digress. If you have any more questions, type those in the comments section. I'll address those. If you don't have them today, type them in whenever. I'll use them on future videos. You can head on over to the Knee Pain Guru website. I also have private coaching if you would like support one-on-one, whatever it is. Let's see, secret all rights. Yeah, I have adhesive arachnoiditis, and during a pain flare-up, I can't even think, let alone type. Yeah, like, it's a serious thing. Pain really changes how you think. And the interesting piece is that when the pain kind of subsides, we don't have a gauge of how different the we don't have a gauge on how the pain has changed how we think and how we evaluate things. And we get in this endless cycle of pain kind of being on the hamster wheel, and it doesn't really get better. Anyways, yeah, a lot of times you do the best you can to reduce the pain. And this is what we get into in Knee Club. I give you like what you can begin doing today to relieve the pain, to reduce the pain, so you have some tools that you can start getting ahead of what's going on in your body. We have to get ahead of the inflammation. We have to get ahead of the neurological signaling. We have to get ahead of the speed at which your body can recover, because your body can heal very quickly. We just got to get the things out of the way that are preventing it from doing so. Okay, secret owl writes about the knee pooping. Okay, Susan writes, I have numbness by knee. Okay, pain with numbness. Okay, yeah, same thing. Sometimes the nerves get squeezed so tight that it makes the knee numb with pain. Can it recover when it's been bad for years? Absolutely. However, I will qualify that response that we have to set up the correct conditions. We have to begin to get the pressure off of the nerves in the knee that are causing the pain and the numbness. We we have to set up the conditions in your body, which looks like water, nutrition, breathing, mindset, stretching, mobility, exercise, pain pattern interrupts. Those are all the conditions we set up in the body. So once we create comfort, your body can be comfortable longer and longer. And what we do is when that happens and we create comfort longer and longer, your body becomes accustomed to that new reality of comfort more of the time. And then what we do is we just do more of that. So instead of focusing on the pain, we focus on the comfort and what we can do to create more comfort. And pretty soon, in a relatively short period of time, depending on how long you've been in pain, that becomes a reality. But it's a process that your body needs to go through in order to get to that place of no pain, reduced pain. That makes sense? Give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications for future videos and make sure you share it with your friends, family, and loved ones that are limping around. Let's see. Secret owl, right? Okay. Let's see. I have adhesive arachnoiditis, and during a pain flare-up, I can't even think, let alone type. Then he writes, until after it's gone and then realize. Yeah. So the key is we have this response to pain. And many times it's like the pain flares up and we're so overwhelmed by it. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to do it. We don't have tools to work with it. And the key is to begin to develop a different neurological response. I'll use martial arts, for an example. When I first started training this one martial art, we get punched. And when you first get punched, it's kind of like, well, you punch me, I'm going to punch you back. That's a knee-jerk neurological response to getting punched. But the more we trained, the more we began to look at that neurological response and get like emotional distance from it. So a person punched you, instead of blaming the other person, we looked at, it's like, well, how could I have moved differently? How could I have trained my responses differently to avoid being punched? How could I position my feet differently? There's lots of things that you can do. And what ends up happening is you begin to break down that experience into something manageable. So you get hit and it's like, okay, well, I screwed up. In that case, you can now begin to learn from that experience. And that's what needs to happen whenever we're overwhelmed by that pain. We got to begin to get tools and practice and training on how to get out of pain. What needs to happen as soon as you start feeling pain to reduce the pain? What awareness can we begin to create before that pain starts? Because pain is never usually like this. It doesn't happen in an instant. We can track pain back to minutes, hours, sometimes days before, that we ignore. That all of a sudden, because we don't know what to do or how to do it, it gets to a critical point where it's like, oh, I can't do anything anymore. And that's the key. We have to begin to get tools. So an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure kind of concept, that we could do things ahead of time so the pain never gets to a critical point, and then continue to give you tools to get your body to recover faster so it never gets to that place. Okay, let's see. Susan, okay, great. Secret Owl says that makes sense. I will sit here and space out Meanwhile, it's getting worse and I'm doing nothing. And there's something between spacing out, like there's actually a lot. You can space out and do nothing, and then you can get into pain. But in that gap, there are lots of tools, and that's what I teach clients to do, is give you tools in that space that you can begin working with your knee in the pattern that is going on in the joint, working with the intrinsic movement of the joint to get the pressure off of the nerves in the knee that are causing the pain. So then while you're spacing out, you can have a very directed and focused manner of spacing out that will be neurologically beneficial for when you're done spacing out. If that makes sense. Okay. Well, cool. Those were the questions that came in. Once again, if you want any action steps you could take after this are all in the description box below this video. There's a newsletter you can get on. You can sign up for a consultation. You can join Knee Club, my group coaching program. There's also private coaching available if you are interested. You are absolutely so welcome there, Secret Owl. I'm going to play a cool little video about Knee Club in a second here. Once again, if you got questions, you can type those in the comment section. I could use those on future videos. Okie dokie. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate all your questions and comments and some nasty remarks. And we will see you on tomorrow's video.